All right, section 9.4, this is the last kind of all of our stuff that we're going to be using in our truth tables, which I will give you tomorrow. Please remind me to give you a handout tomorrow. You've got your notes already for the rest of the chapter, but I need to give you your truth tables, and I've got those on a colored piece of paper for you with some other information just so you'll know what you have. So first definition here is disjunction. A disjunction is a statement that is formed by putting two propositions together such that the new statement is true whenever either or both substatements are true, but false if both are false. So in this case, the only time they're going to be the overall statement is going to be false is if both of them are false. So this would be similar to saying P union Q. And the symbol that you use there kind of looks like a U. That's how I've been trying to remember it. So it looks like it's a V, but it has a similar shape as opposed to when we had the and. In the and, you use the kind of upside down V. I kind of look at that as it looks like this, which means and in our sets notation. So that's nice that they're kind of similar there. So, for example, if P is, it is at least 35 degrees Celsius today, and Q is, it is Friday, then P disjunction Q would be, it is at least 35 degrees Celsius today, or it is Friday, or both. Now, the or both, I think you'll see that in the statements. I would definitely put it in there just to make sure that it's clear. We'll look at a similar here in a minute. So if you have an exclusive disjunction, an exclusive disjunction is a disjunction where not both of the substatements can be true at once. So it's therefore when either it's going to be true when either proposition is true or it is false otherwise. So this would be like saying P union Q minus P intersection Q. So essentially in this case it's not both. So looking at the Venn diagram here, it's P or Q, but notice the or both part is not included in that. And that symbol has that same V, but it has an extra line underneath it that makes it an exclusive disjunction. So, for example, if P is the penalty for being found guilty of murder is death, and Q is the penalty for being found guilty of murder is life imprisonment, then the exclusive disjunction would be either the penalty for being found guilty of murder is death or life imprisonment. Obviously, you can't have both. So it may not necessarily say either. Notice on the last disjunction, it didn't say either it's at least 35 or it's Friday. But the exclusive one, you might see them use the word either, but they might not. But if you say the penalty for being found guilty is death or life imprisonment, if you're not sure if it's exclusive, think about would it make sense to say but not both? Obviously, it can't be both. So if it makes sense for that to be the case, that it's not both, then that's going to be an exclusive one. So another kind of note there, the inclusive or is something like it's raining or it's Friday. It can be both. So unless they tell you that it can't be both, I think it's a safe assumption to assume that it can be. Unless, like I said, it doesn't make sense. Can't have life imprisonment and death at the same time. Okay, so determine the truth value of the given statements, given that P is true and Q is true. So notice that all of these are our disjunction or exclusive disjunction. So for the first one there, it says P is true and Q is true, so that would be true, disjunction, true. And it says up there at the top that a disjunction is going to be true essentially as long as at least part of it is true. So this is going to be true. Okay. Next we have true, disjunction, not Q. So if Q is true, then that means false. That would also be true because, again, at least one part of it is true. Finally, not P, exclusive disjunction, not P. In this case, that would be false. At least something has to be true in order for that statement to be true. Now, one thing I'm not sure that I put here, and I'm going to kind of look here real quick and see. I don't see it looking at it really quickly. When you have an exclusive disjunction, if you have true and then true, that's going to be false because it can't be both, just like what we were just saying about the death or life imprisonment. It can't be death and life imprisonment, so that would have to be a false statement. It has to be one or the other. Okay. So that one is only going to be true when only one of the statements is true. Okay, last little set here on the front, same kind of idea. So this time, though, P is true and Q is false. So we have true disjunction not false, so that's true. So that's going to be true. We have false exclusive disjunction true, so that's going to be true. And then we have P true exclusive disjunction true, and that's what I was just saying there. Only one of them can be true because they can't both happen at the same time. All right, so we're going to write each of these statements here in words. So we have not P and disjunction with Q. So this is not an exclusive disjunction, so this would be, you can put the word either with it, or you can just say both. I'm going to say either. So either not P, so either it's not sunny, or Q, it is cloudy. Now you could put in a or both because they could both happen in this case. That's kind of up to you. For B, we've got not P again. This time though we have the other symbol. So this is our symbol for and. So it is not sunny and it is cloudy. And then finally, this is going to be another either or, but this is going to be the one that's not both. So either it is not sunny or it is not cloudy. But not both. Let's just go ahead and add up here or both, just to keep that clear. When you've got the line underneath, it cannot be both, but when you don't have the line underneath, it can be both. All right, and our last part here, they want us just to write these in symbols. So we've got P is that Simon is good at math, Q, Simon does homework regularly, and R, Simon has passed his mathematics test. So A, Simon does his homework, so obviously that's going to be a Q. And he's good at math, so that's going to be a P. We're connected with an and, so that's going to be like the intersection symbol from probability, so that's going to be the V, or the upside down V, rather. Okay. Simon does not do his homework regularly, so that's going to be not Q. And has failed his mathematics test, so that's going to be not R. And that's going to be another intersection, another and scenario there. The last one, okay, so either, so this is going to be some type of disjunction. Either he is not good at math or does not do his homework regularly. It doesn't say but not both, so we'll assume this is just a regular disjunction. So we can go ahead and put that there. Not good at math, so good at math is P, so that's going to be not P. And then does not do homework regularly. Homework regularly is Q, and this is going to be not Q. Okay. Sorry, those kind of look like sevens there. That's that little, and I got to draw it correctly, the little line with the little tail on it there. That's your symbol for not. Let me fix that here because this looks pretty bad. Okay. And I guess we can shorten this other one over here. There we go, that looks better. Shorten that one and shorten that one. Okay. So those are all of our symbols. We're going to throw in a few more new words when we get to section 6 and section 7. But as far as our symbols, we're done with those. So you want to try to get those into your head because if you see the V or the upside down V, you need to know what those mean because if you're going to put them into words, you need to know what words to put in your sentence. Okay. So the homework assignment will be on my website. And tomorrow, like I said, I'll have a truth table for you. And I think tomorrow I'm going to give you a handout to do your homework on because you have to fill out some rather large tables. And I just don't want you to have to draw those big tables. So.